Hello, my loves. I have promised you a video on what I've been learning about Feng Shui since we are moving into a new place. And I don't know, all this stuff just interests me. And so I was like, I want to learn about this. And I know that some of you are creating new spaces for yourself and stepping into what's next and reaching for what's to come as opposed to walking away from what was. And so I wanted to share with you what I've learned. Now, I will always tell you where I feel like I can be that teacher, right? Like when it comes to thought work, got it, right? I'm right there. Meditation, I'm getting better at. Feng Shui, I'm not a master at. I'm just super interested in it, and I want to share with you what I've learned because it's just fun for me, and it might be fun for you. So I'm going to start with showing you the condo that we are moving into. You will need a layout of your home. So if you have the construction documents where all the measurements are perfect, that's ideal. If you don't, then you have to recreate it, and you'll have to measure rooms because actually the measurements matter here. And I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. So you're going to want to lay out the floor plan of your house. And I don't mean furniture. I just mean walls, windows, doors, particularly the entryway. And I'm going to show you some things about why that's important. So if you have a two-story home, it's obviously easier if the top story and the bottom story have the same layout. But sometimes that's not the case, right? Sometimes the bottom story might be longer and the top story might be shorter. So you're going to want to lay out both of them. But ideally what you're going to do is just take that bottom floor and be able to lay that out and then extend some of that upstairs as well. Because the areas go by the direction that area is facing. So this is going to be easier with a picture. So I'm just going to show you with a picture. So let me share my screen. The good news here is that our place is, it's pretty simple to lay out, our new place. So hopefully you can see this. Let me see if I can increase a little bit more. Okay. So let me just orient you to what I've got here. So this is our new condo. It's just a rectangle. And at the opposite end is all windows, and at this end it's all cement, basically, cement block. And then there's like two windows on this front side. So what you're looking at, I don't have it labeled by kitchen, living room, stuff like that, but I will orient you to it. So this is the front door. This is where people would walk in. This is our kitchen. When you walk in, this is the living area. It's a huge living area because I think you're supposed to have like a dining room area here and a living space here. We're not really going to do that, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. So again, this is the entryway, this is the kitchen, and this is the living space. This is all a wall of windows. Then there's this little hallway right here that goes into the master bedroom. Again, wall of windows here. This is the master. This is our master bathroom that you enter from right here. Then you go out into the hallway. So this is a wall and a door. Go out into the hallway. Here's another full-size bath. That's bathroom number 2. And then this is the spare room right here. And the closets are along this wall. There's one little window here, and there's one little window here in the kitchen. But otherwise, no windows on this side of the house, and certainly no windows on either of these sides of the condo. But this whole thing is all windows. And then there's a patio out back here that takes the span of the space. So here's the things I want you to know. So when you lay out the floor plan of your house, you're going to just like come up with the general floor plan, put the walls and things in there so that you know where they are, and you're going to want this to be as exact as you can. If there is a place, so for instance, this little spot right here, that is our laundry room off of our kitchen. This is going to be new for me. I'm used to some kind of vast laundry rooms, but anyway, I'm going to get some pretty washers and dryers, so it'll be all good. So this is a place that bumps out. Well, what you're going to want to do is sort of just this dotted line is basically filling in the gap to make it perfectly rectangular. So if there is a part of your home that sort of jets out from the rest of it, you're going to want to almost just on this document create like a fake wall just by using dotted lines so that you can get the measurements correct. All right? Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to divide the house into 9 quadrants, which is what I've done here. And so it's equal. So this is why the measurements become important. If it is, call it 21 feet wide, then you're going to have 7 feet, 7 feet, and 7 feet. And so you're going to want to make sure that those quadrants are all equal, both horizontally and vertically. So you're going to divide it into 9 areas. Then you're going to get out the compass on your phone, and you're going to point your phone in each of those directions, and you're going to put the direction that that part is facing. So for instance, this is the wall of windows on our house, right? And so this corner is south, directly out our window is southwest, and then over to the right is west. And then obviously you can see I filled in the other gaps here, north, northeast, east. Your areas then, each of these 9 blocks represent a different part of your life based upon which direction it's facing towards the sun. So everyone's is going to be different. Your south region, so the block that faces south, is what's called fame and reputation. And I'm going to talk about each of these in detail for you. The southwest area, which is, for me, this is a wall right here that you can't really see very well because it's my drawings. This area, the southwest area, is your love and relationships area. And that goes a little bit into our master bedroom on this side of the wall and a little bit into our living area on this side of the wall, right? So it's not really about where the walls are, okay? The west area represents new beginnings. Now, what does that even say? New beginnings, creativity, and fertility. Be careful in that area if you don't want to get pregnant. I'm just saying. This area, the northwest area, is about helpful people and travel. And again, I promise I'm going to go into what all this means. So that's a little bit in the kitchen and a little bit in this area. Helpful people and travel. The north area is career and life journey. The northeast area, that quadrant, or that box, that is your wisdom and knowledge area. Your east area is family and community. Your southeast area, this is important for money. You got to know where your southeast area is. That is where your prosperity and abundance exists. So super interesting. That's where my bathrooms are. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with that, since my prosperity and abundance are in the bathrooms, which isn't always ideal because water flows out through the bathrooms and we don't want money flowing out, we want money flowing in. So I'm going to tell you about that. The very center of this 9-quadrant thing, that is your health and well-being. That area is your health and well-being area. Okay? So the first thing that you're going to want to do is lay out your house floor plan, and then you're going to want to divide it into 9 equal quadrants. Don't worry about where the walls are. Just break it up equally. by measuring it, come up with the northwest, southeast, east, northeast, like find out the direction by using the compass. Every phone has it. And then identify those areas and just label those areas. All right, so that's the first step. The second step that I'm going to walk you through is I want to help define each of those areas for you. So we're going to talk about, like, for instance, what does the fame and reputation area even mean? What does helpful people in travel even mean? So I'm going to give you that perspective. And then the third piece is we're going to overlay that perspective with some of the Feng Shui principles by room type. So for instance, love and relationships for me, some of that is in the master bedroom. So I want to incorporate sort of both ideas of things that you would put in your master bedroom with the love and relationships area. So that tends to work out pretty well. But it gets more interesting when your prosperity and abundance is in your toilet. So I will give you the lowdown on both of those. But first, let's go through the different areas of your home. So your front door, we're going to talk about the front door. Your entryway is really important in Feng Shui because that's where all the energy comes into your house. If you are not using your front door, like you always come in through the garage, apparently that's no bueno with Feng Shui. I'm mixing Asian concepts with Spanglish, so keep up. Your front door, you're going to want to make sure that that is easy to open, very inviting. Everything that's coming into your home flows through the front door. You're even going to want to not just use it occasionally, you might want to leave it open occasionally, right? If you have one of those screen doors, like leave the front door open and let energy come in. Think of the front door as the mouth of your home. Think of the windows as the eyes of your home. So you're going to want to keep your windows clean. Apparently, that's a big deal with Feng Shui. And the walls are the ears of the home. And so we're getting ready to move into a home that is that's been around since the 80s. I think was when the building was built. So there's a lot of people that have been in that space. So even in the concept, I know we joke about it, like you may smudge your house. Like there's energy that lives in the walls of your home. And so lots of other people's energies are right now in the home that we're getting ready to move into. So you can best believe I'm going to go through there and clear some of that energy because I want what's mine there. And I don't want the clutter of other people's stuff. And they may have great energy and that's cool, but I want what's mine in there now. So let's dive in. The health and well-being, that center of the home, that's super important. This is all about, obviously, health and well-being, unity, self-love, self-acceptance, and gratitude. This is the area of your home that affects your vibrancy, your energy, and your sense of looking after yourself. So you're not going to want any clutter there. I mean, you're never going to see anything in Feng Shui that says, yeah, you should absolutely have clutter here. But there are areas of the home where you definitely don't want it, and you don't want it in your health and well-being area. This is a great place to put out fresh fruit or flowers. Maybe books on self-care or healthy recipe books or, things, whatever self-care means to you, that's the area of your home where you would put those things. You want to call in energy of compassion and love in this area. And so in a couple of these areas, some of the things I learned, so there's a lot of goddess energy in Feng Shui and also just in Asian culture. So I will tell you what the goddess is that helps support that particular area of the home. You can go on Amazon and find little statues, or you could go online and find pictures of these goddesses. You also could create affirmations for each of those areas of your home so that you are calling in what you want. Now, so for instance, the statue in this area is the goddess Kuan Yin, and she is the goddess of mercy and compassion. And you might have an affirmation in that area that sounds something like, I am grateful that I am perfectly healthy in mind, body, and spirit. Now, You do not have to have any of this visible to anyone else, right? Imagine you have a beautiful bowl and there's an affirmation on the bottom of the bowl, or a picture of a goddess on the bottom of the bowl, or on the back of the frame, or behind the picture that's hanging in the frame over the table in that area. Like, this doesn't have to be like, it's not for anyone else, it's just for you. So if affirmations feels good to you, do that. And put an affirmation in that area. And if the whole goddess energy thing is sort of interesting to you, like it is to me, look into that a little bit. And if it freaks you out, don't do it. But if it feels like interesting, then maybe get a picture of the goddess or get a little statue of the goddess. So that is the health and well-being area. The career and life journey area, this represents your business and your career, obviously. So you are going to want to add items to that area that represent your career aspirations. Also symbols or people that inspire you. Just anything related to your career and business and where it is you want it to be. So you want it to feel very aspirational as opposed to maybe where you are today. Unless where you are today is just crushing it and you just want to like keep that active in your energetic space. So dream big here. All your top interests. If you have a vision board related to your career or business, this is a perfect place to put it. The goddess in this area is also Queen Yin or Tara. And you might want to put an affirmation in that area, something along the lines of maybe I use my unique and special skills and gifts to create my perfect business, to be of service, and to live in joy and great abundance. That's the one that I sort of created for myself. But come up with something that feels really good for you to call in what it is that you're trying to create for yourself professionally in that area. Okay, next is the wisdom and knowledge area. So this obviously represents wisdom and knowledge, but also intuition, which ties into meditation. It's the quieting of the mind that we've talked about. This is your spiritual and educational area. It encompasses personal development and personal growth type things. So you want to become clear on what it is that you want to learn, how you want to grow as a person and evolve, maybe even what ancient wisdom that you might want to connect to in order to activate your intuition, for example. So if you are someone who's into like an altar, which is sort of just a place to place your intentions, that's a great place to put it in that part of the house. My wisdom and knowledge place in my new house in the condo is the entryway. It's a long hallway. So I don't think I'm going to have an altar there. But that doesn't mean anything. Items can be hanging on a wall or they can be hidden. If you're going to meditate, this is the perfect place in your house to meditate. I'm not sure where I'm going to put a meditation cushion, like right in front of my front door. I don't see that happening, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. You're going to want to put images or books of things that you want to learn, people who inspire you. If you have an owl figure or picture, that's a perfect place to put it because owls are known for wisdom and knowledge. Spiritual statues are perfect to put here. If you're into crystals, I sometimes love crystals. That's a great place to put them. Little inspirational cards, even if you're super woo, you can put your oracle cards there. That's a great place to do that. But you're going to want to place something there that represents who you are spiritually and who you're becoming, who you want to become, what you want to tap into, what you want more of. So anything that represents your spiritual practice here. And if meditation is a part of that, then maybe that's where you meditate or you put your meditation cushion there. If books and reading and researching and just learning is a big part of that, then this is a perfect place to put your bookshelf and put all those materials that you're trying to just absorb. Okay? So that is the wisdom and knowledge space. The affirmation that I came up with for that was, I am continually learning and growing. I am a creator. So that's what works for me, that you find something that works for you. I don't have like a goddess to go there, but honestly, there's enough stuff in here that I don't think it needs it. Your family and community center. I'm just going to keep my eye on the clock because I'm probably going to have to stop this so that I can go to a coaching call and then I'll come back. Your family and community center. So this is your own family, of course. This is your extended family, and your community is what is represented in this area. And this is about the people that you surround yourself with. So sometimes it's not blood related. Sometimes it's the family that we choose for ourselves, right? So this is the place where you put all the family photos, and you keep all the photo albums and old pictures in that place. All the happy memories can go into that area of the home. You may want to use a picture or a symbol of healthy family relationships, like people holding hands or some sense of belonging. Like I have this, someone gave me a gift of this clay pottery thing where there's like little people in a circle and they're all holding hands, and then you can put a candle in the middle. Like that's exactly where that's going to create more healthy relationships and healthy community. The statue is the goddess of family, and her name is Hera, H-E-R-A. Now, put your family photos in this area. Don't put your family photos in the master bedroom. We haven't gotten to the master bedroom yet, but we will. So some of the affirmations that I sort of came up with for myself were, my family is healthy, happy, safe, and full of love. My family and friends are a beautiful reflection of divine love. So again, find one that works for you and put it somewhere. And it doesn't have to be plastered on your wall in a big words. It can be just hidden somewhere because it's for you. It's an intention that you're placing in that area. It's not whether or not anyone who comes in your house sees it. Okay. The prosperity and abundance area. So this is your wealth center, obviously money, but also abundance of love, happiness, connection, and friendship. So it's abundance, yes, of money, but it's also just abundance in your life. So this is the area that you are going to want to feel super luxurious, whatever it is. So my bathroom is going to be pimped out. That's all I'm saying. It's got to feel like absolute abundance and luxury. So this isn't the place where you're going to put your little Scott toilet paper that you got to have 100 sheets to wipe yourself, or thin towels, even because both my bathrooms are in that area. So the guest bathroom, for those of you that are going to come down, you're going to have a very nice guest bathroom. So you could put a check from the universe in that area. You could have a statue of Lakshmi, which is the goddess of prosperity, or Fortuna, which is the goddess of fortune. There's this idea of putting a bowl, getting a bowl, mine is a very little bowl, you can see, and filling it with coins and having the coins overflowing, and maybe even putting a mirror, like a little circular mirror under the bowl with the coins overflowing. And it represents that there's always so much. So this is all about like just the energy and the, like what feeling it gives you. So when you look at coins overflowing from a bowl, it's like, oh, there's always more than enough. And mirrors in Feng Shui sort of escalate the energy. And so when you put it under something like that, it just amplifies it. So that's an idea that I got and I used. Luxury items, obviously anything that makes you feel prosperous, anything, pictures that make you feel abundant, and maybe even pictures of things that are abundant, like a field of sunflowers or peonies or bluebells or a forest, like where there's just like this abundance of whatever. So not scarcity in this area, anything that's abundance. If you're going to have live plants in there, you definitely want to do bamboo or jade plants because they grow upwards. You see that, like you see those bamboo trees with like all the time in Asian cultures. That's why it grows upwards. It's about prosperity. Don't put a cactus in that area. Cactus repels money. So no cacti. I don't care if you're in the Southwest. Anything that represents wealth and prosperity for you. So it's just personalized to you. And then like for me, abundance and money is about creating fun, adventure, freedom, opportunity, just fun. It's a lot of fun energy for me. So my affirmations are all around fun. But whatever works for you in terms of abundance, then that's what you're going to want to have as your affirmation in that area. Okay, I have to pause, but I promise after my coaching call, I will come back, finish this video, I'll splice it together. You'll love it. Don't worry. Okay, I'm back. Let's pick up where we left off. We are sort of cross-hatching the different 9-block areas, and then I will get into the details of each individual space, regardless of what area they fall into. All right, so the next one that we are moving on to is fame and reputation. That's a particular area in that 9-block quadrant that you've created. So it deals with fame and reputation, which means recognition. How you share your light in the world or with the people that you love and you care about. How people recognize, refer to you, and talk about you. So this is sort of like the image of you, how you want to be perceived, but it can't be incongruent with who you really are. So it has to be in alignment with who you are and how is it that you want people to think about you. So this is the space where you will energize, show off, and display current achievements. So that can be diplomas, it can be certificates, it can be, like when I get little love notes from clients, I will keep those out and present in my space, things like that. But now I know to put it in the fame and reputation space, which I did not know about that before. So it will amplify whatever it is that you want to be seen and acknowledged for. The goddess is Brigid. This is the Irish sun goddess, and she represents how you shine your light in the world. You're going to want to put things in that area that, like objects that represent how you share your light. So that can be things that you want, awards you want to achieve, trophies, things like that. So there was a story in the book that this all came from. And she was talking about how her mentor was working with a big Hollywood producer, and he really wanted an Oscar. And so they created a statue of a fake Oscar, and they put it in his office where he could see it every single day. Guess how long it took for him to get an Oscar? It was not very long. It was like that next Oscar series, he was nominated and he won it for Best Picture. So if there's something that you have on your heart, and this is not the time to be modest, right? If there's something that you really, really want, admit to yourself that you want it, and then this would be the area of the home where you would place that thing so that it can get amplified. It can also be pictures of people that you admire or whose status you might desire. I say that and I hesitate because I know that there's judgment in there, like, oh, I just desire their status. You can also just have people, images of people in this area that are enjoying themselves. People that are doing exciting things or are achieving things. Even if it's not the exact same thing you want to achieve, it's just sort of representative of the energy that you want to create in that space. So if you want to put an intention in that space, you could do, I am appreciated for the work that I do. One of the ones I came up with was, I share my light, my talents, my gifts, and I earn an abundant living doing so. So you could put in and intention, easy for me to say, and intention in that space, something along those lines. Okay, love and relationships. You know I love to talk about this one. This is obviously the space in your home is about love, marriage, and relationships. And that is to your partner, but also all of your other relationships as well. So this is a space to nurture your relationships, all the people that you love and you genuinely care about. So you will want to place objects in that space that represent love to you. Now sometimes that's super literal and it's a heart. Sometimes it's water in the ocean. I mean, it's whatever you want it to be. It just has to represent love to you. When you step into that space, do you feel love? When you step into that space and you look around, do you see things that you love and that feel like love to you? So one of the, this gets kind of literal now. So you could also place 2 rose quartz hearts in that space. If you are in a relationship, place a happy picture of the 2 of you together in that space, something that brings about happy memories for you. And when adding anything, make sure it represents you as a couple. So you've got to start, in this space, you got to think in pairs. I mean, unless you just genuinely want to, I want to be alone for like a minute. If you want to be alone, you can do whatever the heck you want. But if you want to be in a loving, committed relationship, then you're going to want to start thinking in pairs. And so that means that there's no pictures of singular people. So you know how sometimes, like there's a lot of pictures that I've seen where there's a woman or a silhouette of a woman, but it's just one woman. That's a singular image. And so that doesn't invite the energy of being in relationship with other people. So even, let's say that you love sailboats. One sailboat, make sure that there's 2 sailboats in that picture. So think in pairs. Like if it's a bedroom, you're going to have 2 nightstands, one on each side, not one on your side of the bed, and I'll get the other nightstand when I get a lover. Nope. You're going to want to create space for that now. And then if you're going to put any statues or symbols in that area, guess what? Angels or Cupid, which is kind of an angel just with a bow and arrow, I think. I'm not sure. But if you have the angel statues, that's a great place to put them. And then you can also, of course, put an intention in that area. Okay, the next space is new beginnings, creativity, and fertility. So this space represents, obviously, creativity, children, because they are creations of us, fertility, but it's also your inner child and new beginnings. So don't get so literal that it's about, oh my God, I'm never stepping foot in that quadrant of my house because I don't want to get pregnant. I want you to think about it as a birthing of a creative energy or a birthing of a new beginning. Same as having a baby. It all comes from the same energetic space. So begin to think about what is it that you want to birth. Maybe it's bringing a more creative and playful quality to your life, right? It doesn't even have to be a thing, like something that I'm going to create. It doesn't have to be this tangible thing. It can just be something that you want to cultivate more in your life. What new things do you want to bring into the world? This is the place where, let's say you have art supplies. Let's say you wanted to paint. Let's say you wanted to create jewelry. Put that stuff in this area of your home. So all things creative go here. Even pictures of kids, creative artwork, symbols of creativity. Put up artwork that you enjoy or objects that just inspire you to create. So here's some funny things. You can put seeds, literally seeds, in a bowl to symbolize new beginnings. You can have, if you want to have abundant fertility, that's not me, but maybe that's you, a bowl of white Jordan almonds, pomegranates, or images of either of those things. Apparently, that's good for fertility. I personally will not be eating any white Jordan almonds ever again. And then the goddess for that area is Saraswati or Lakshmi. So Saraswati is the goddess of creativity, and Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance and fertility. So either of those are beautiful to add to that space. And then in affirmation, the one that I came up with was, I trust that I am a creative being. I allow the divine process to work through me. That's sort of my mantra in this as it relates to this, but come up with something that feels true for you. Okay. The last one, yes, the last of the 9 quadrants is helpful people and travel, which sounds so crazy. Why is there a whole space in your house for helpful people and travel? This was interesting to me. So this is the capacity to go places and to be supported. So if you are one of my type A women, this is for you and for me. This is giving yourself, this is the area of the house where you are going to give yourself permission to allow people to support you. Well, and actually inviting it in, welcoming support to your life. If you are one of these people who likes to give but never likes to get, you actually are creating an unintentional hierarchy in the relationship where I will give to you, but I will never receive from you. And if you are a giver, my guess is it's because it brings you joy to do that. So I want you to think about you blocking that joy for someone else because you're too proud to receive their gifts, right? So if someone wants to give to you or support you or hold you in any way, the same amount of joy you get from giving, if you don't receive that, if you don't accept that because you're too proud or your ego's getting involved, then you are blocking them from feeling that same joy that they would get from giving to you. So that's potentially a new way to think about it. All right, this area of your home, it is also about direction and your capacity for personal expansion. So the things that you're going to want to put in this area of the home, some of this is going to seem very logical, artwork of places that you would love to go someday or that you've been to before that you would like to go back to. This is the place to put a globe, an atlas, or any travel books. And in terms of support, you may also have a job description of helpful people that you are trying to call into your life. Now again, this does not have to be a framed job description that you hang on the wall or have on your desk, nothing like that. It can be behind a picture. It can be folded up and put in a drawer or in a bowl or something decorative. It doesn't have to be out for everyone to see. It matters not at all. But if you're trying to call supportive, helpful people into your life, be as specific as possible and put it in this area. So let's say that I wanted more PR. I want to be on the Today Show. I want to, whatever. I would ask for public relations experts to present themselves to me. That's what I would put in that area. So think about it like that. You could, if you are into the whole vision board thing or vision box thing, if I've told you about the vision box, you could have an all-travel vision board or an all-travel vision box. The spiritual statues, one is angels again. So this idea of there are angels that are always watching over you and your own well-being. So angels in that area is great. And then Ganesh, who is the elephant, you know, with the Ganesh, he is the remover of obstacles. And you can put an intention in that area, of course. The right people will show up at the right time. That can be an intention. I have an abundance of supportive people that are there to help me every time the need arises, and I'm grateful for this. That can be an intention. Okay, so now we've gone through the 9 block areas that you've laid out from the floor plan based upon which direction it's facing towards the sun. So now we're going to go through some of the rooms, room by room, and sometimes it's going to match up perfectly. Like love and relationships will be in your master bedroom, but sometimes it's not, and that's totally okay. So this is just sort of, think of it as like an overlay to what we've been talking about, like a little bit more information based upon what is that room that's facing southeast and what do I want to do there. All right, in your office space, if you work from home at all, always make sure that you are sitting with your back to a wall. You never want to be sitting where, let's say you're facing the wall and your back is to the open room or the doorway. That means you cannot see what's coming at you. So you're always going to want to have your back to a wall. And then ideally you have a plant on the windowsill to stop the chi, which is just energy, flowing out. The most important place in your home, believe it or not, is your entrance. So this is where the energy or the chi comes into your space. So it needs to feel vibrant, alive, energetic, and attractive. You must use your front door. If you are always going in and out of your garage door or your back door or your side door, this house we're renting right now, for instance, I don't even know how many doors are in this house. There's probably 10, at least. I'm even thinking about, I'm like, there's a lot of doors. And we never come through the front door. We always come through the garage door. I mean, we're renting the place and we'll be out of here in a month, but it did get me thinking about that. So your front door needs to be welcoming. It needs to have no obstacles. And this means, like, also clear the cobwebs, get rid of any dead plants or weeds. Just like if there's your toddler's tricycle there on the front porch, put it away somewhere else. Get it out of the front door area. You don't want any obstacles there. You're going to remove anything that limits the amount of energy that is flowing into your home. You will also want this area to be clean. So you're going to clean your front door and the doorknobs. You're going to make sure that the doorbell is working so that you can hear who's coming. You're going to want to wash the windows. Let's say that there are windows on either side of the door or there's windows in your door. You're going to want to wash those and make sure that those are very clear and clean. You also want to make sure that it's easy to open fully. So let's say that your door creaks when you open it. Oil it. If it scrapes the floor, fix it. Because those things, when there's a little, it signifies struggle and frustration right at your entryway where the energy is coming in. So you want everything there in your entryway in beautiful working order. You will also not want a mirror facing your door. And the reason for that is that you want the energy to come into the home, and a mirror reflects the energy. So energy comes into the home, and if there's a mirror there, say in your entryway, let's say there's a wall right there, and you have a mirror, it's going to reflect that energy right back out again. So it's okay to place the mirrors on the side walls, facing out this way or this way, whatever, but not directly out your front door. Okay? In general, Feng Shui is based on the 5 elements. Those water, fire, earth, wood, and metal, which are the most powerful forces in nature. So that's what this stuff is based upon. So let's talk about bedrooms. So your master bedroom, this is your place, obviously, of rest, romance, and relaxation. It needs to feel like your sanctuary. The bed needs to be placed in a commanding position, which means furthest from the door with a wall behind you for that support, but still able to see the doorway so that you can see what's coming at you. That's not about that you're in danger. It's just about being in a commanding position in that place of your home. So you're going to want to avoid the door coming straight at your feet or your head. So for instance, as I think about the place that we're getting ready to move into, the door comes right in, and we wouldn't, and we're not going to, but we could put our bed on that wall. But then the door would come right in at our heads as we're laying on the bed facing this wall. So instead, we're going to flip it, and the bed is going to be on this wall facing out, and the door is over here in like the bottom right corner. So hopefully that makes some sense to you. And obviously your home is not going to necessarily be laid out the exact same way as me, but just in general, avoid the doorway coming right at your feet or right at your head. So in terms of your bed, believe it or not, Feng Shui has a lot to say about this. Wood is the best material for a headboard. And in terms of the headboard, it can be upholstered because behind that is wood or something very hard. Because that will give you the combination of both soft and strong, security and sanctuary. So it has that, I don't say hardness, but stability of something solid, and then wrapped in the batting and upholstery that makes it kind of soft. So an upholstered headboard or an upholstered bed is awesome, but so is a bed made of wood, any kind of wood material. You're not going to want anything that's really close to the ground, and you don't want to put anything under your bed. So in our last home, before I knew all this, we had a really, really cool wooden bed, and it had storage drawers underneath the bed. So apparently what is under your bed has an energetic influence. So you actually don't want anything under your bed, even if it's built into your bed. Oh, and by the way, it was really, really low to the ground. The reason why that's important, and what you don't have to have it like high from the ground, but you want some space so that energy can flow freely. And so when it's really low to the ground, on the ground, or there's a bunch of stuff under your bed, energy's not flowing. And if it's dirty under there, because you never go under there in dust, energy's not flowing. So I know, we just added more work to our plates, didn't we? All right, so sometimes we have to do double duty in a room. Having your desk or office area in your bedroom, it's not that it's insurmountable from a Feng Shui perspective, but it is very difficult because it blurs the lines between work and sleep and our ability to switch off work and be able to fully rest. So if you have to have your office in your bedroom, I know this is going to sound strange. When you are done with your workday, you are going to want to take a blanket or a sheet and cover it up. It is just sort of an indication of the work is done, and now I'm in my personal life. I'm in my personal space. I do not abide by this next particular one, which is no electronics in the bedroom. Ideally, no electronics. And that includes exercise equipment. And it includes television. If you have it, Feng Shui would tell you to cover it while you sleep. I haven't done that yet because I always fall asleep sooner than my husband, and he is not really getting up after the movie ends so that he can put a sheet over the bed, or sorry, over the TV. But but we don't have a lot of electronics in the bedroom. We don't have exercise equipment laying around and all that kind of crap. So it's just a delineation. Your master bedroom is sort of this, when I said sanctuary, it is your sacred space, and it is where you are spending a really good majority of your time. So it needs to feel really comforting and not disjointed with a bunch of other energies. Your nightstands. Okay, so nightstands, no clutter on the nightstands. Like, they should be really clean on top. Maybe there's a lamp. Maybe there's one other thing, but it's just very clean on your nightstands, including books, by the way. So if you're going to have books, books carry a lot of energy, a lot. So even my books that I have, and you know I have a lot, I put them behind closed doors. So bookcases with doors on them, or armoires, or sideboards, those sorts of things. Like even baskets that you can pull out of a shelf. When you just have your books lined up on a shelf, think of it as those books are sending energy to you with no filter. So you are getting all those messages and all that energy all at once. So it's a lot. And when you're trying to sleep, you don't need all that coming at you. So having 3 books at your bedside is actually not a great idea. Now, if you have doors or a drawer or something, that's okay. You can put that book that you're reading in the drawer, or the books that you're reading behind the closed doors. But just things to think about. You don't want to have them on display. Okay? It affects your sleep. Keep your windows clean and replace burnt out light bulbs. If you find, this was interesting, I've never had this, at least that I can remember, if one particular light keeps burning out frequently, that's an indicator of something that you need to pay attention to. Who knew that? This one is also one that I struggle with a little bit. Nothing hanging over your head. So that includes a ceiling fan, which we're actually getting installed in the bedroom, and anything above your headboard. So like if this was my bed and there was this picture behind it, that wouldn't be feng shui. Because when you are sleeping, you want to feel like there is nothing that can happen to you. Nothing's going to fall on you. There is no possibility of any of that. So even like the 4-poster beds, or the drapery that you might hang from a 4-poster bed, that apparently not so great in feng shui, but I understand the utility of it, particularly if it's bugs. Like if you live in Bali or something like that, I get it. The colors you are going to want to use, my husband still doesn't understand this, neutral tones, whites and creams. Your pillows, duvets, and sheets all need to feel super luxurious. He keeps trying to like put color in the bedroom that I'm trying to create for us, even though we haven't moved in. So yeah, he doesn't like that because he prefers color. But the color that we both really like, and we live at the beach, is blue. But blue is a color of emotions. So that should make sense. It's a water color, a water sign. It's a color of emotions. And so if you don't want a lot of drama in your relationship, don't use blue in the bedroom. The bedroom should just be neutrals, beautiful, soft, luxurious, even sparkly is fine, just not lots of color in the master bedroom. Photos of you and your beloved in the bedroom is perfect. Any happy photo where you look at that and you're like, I love that picture of us. perfect picture to put into the bedroom. No pictures of other people. No family pictures. No holy pictures, altars, spiritual statues, or singular images. Okay? Because this is the place where you are calling in a loving relationship or calling in just more love into your existing relationship. Now, again, if you want to be alone because you're just like, I need a few minutes just by myself. And when I say minutes, I mean years. That's totally cool too. You know, like you can do couples or you could do individuals. But if you really want to be in a relationship, don't have any individual images. Certainly don't have any family images. Don't have Mother Mary looking at you while you're getting your groove on. None of that, okay? Make your bed in the morning before leaving your bedroom. Dust and vacuum regularly and hang up your clothes. So basically, like, there's no element of feng shui that allows you to just be a slob. It doesn't exist. Keep your towels in the bathroom, not in the bedroom, especially if they're damp, because they will dampen the energy in that bedroom space. So after you dry off, you put the towel in the laundry hamper or you hang it up on a rack. Suitcases, you don't want to store suitcases in your bedroom. You'll want to put them, I don't know, your attic, your garage, something like that, because it impacts your ability to really settle into that place. No mirrors facing the bed or over your head. You're into that sort of thing. And if you want to attract love, add a pair of fresh pink peonies. Fresh pink peonies represents abundant love. All right, ready to move on to kitchen? Just when you thought you'd heard everything, now I'm going to tell you about the kitchen. And you're really going to be like, Sharon, really? All right, so the kitchen is connected with nourishing your life energy. This is your prosperity center. So your kitchen is actually way more important than you thought it was. You're going to want to have an emphasis on cleanliness, tossing out old food in the fridge or in the cupboard, making sure it's uncluttered, even the cupboards and the pantry. So this is not an area where you can think, well, I'll just close the door and no one will see it, and therefore it's okay. The kitchen, if you want prosperity, and who doesn't want prosperity, this is the place you got to be really uncluttered in your life. You're going to want to keep your kitchen surfaces clean, organized, and uncluttered. And what that means is not a lot on the counter. You don't, especially like in every corner, there's something like here's the coffee maker, and here's the knife block, and here's the KitchenAid mixer, and here's, because I did this. As little on the countertops as possible. It keeps, when you don't have a lot on the countertops, it keeps the energy flowing through the space. And that can have a huge impact on wealth. Put away anything that you do not use on a regular basis and make sure that every item has a home in your space. This space should feel calm, happy, and supportive to you. Now, in the kitchen, we have knives. We have things that could be used as weapons. Don't leave them out on the counter. Anything that resembles a weapon is considered a dangerous object. So you don't want that out on the counter because you don't want to attract danger to yourself. And avoid having objects that are hanging down over you. Like, you know how sometimes you'll see people have pots and pans and stuff hanging down over an island or something? No bueno with feng shui because it can feel overpowering. So can tall cupboards and lots of cases and items. Okay, the stovetop and oven are your center, they are connected to prosperity because they are related to fire energy. Fire energy is prosperity, and your stovetop and your oven are an important piece of that. So sometimes what you will see people do is they will place a mirror behind their stovetop or their oven to amplify or double the prosperity that is coming through that space. I have also seen people do entire backsplashes that are mirrored as a subtle and not so subtle way of amplifying the prosperity energy in the kitchen. So I got to figure out what I'm doing in my new place because it's not a mirrored backsplash, but it is a pretty backsplash. I promise you that. Okay, so kitchens are an important part. There's a couple more places that I want to just bring up for you, and I'm sorry that this is going long, but if you want to know about Feng Shui, I'm just giving you the goodness. So dining rooms. Dining rooms are associated with nurturing relationships. It's best to have a round or an oval table if you can, because those round, soft edges are more ideal to creating a space that brings people together as opposed to a square or a rectangular table, for instance. There is a way, and I have not done this myself, so I don't know, there is a way to discover your 4 power directions according to your personal trigram, which means each of us has a direction facing some part of the sun, right? The compass that we had out at the beginning. There's some direction that is sort of our power center. And if you can arrange you and the people in your family according to that power center, apparently, that can be a very cool thing and can help multiply abundance. Your dining room is also a place where you can use symbols of prosperity, things like fresh flowers or fruit. A bowl of 9 oranges is auspicious in Feng Shui because oranges are powerfully associated with more abundance because when you open an orange, there are more pieces inside that orange. This is another instance where placing a mirror underneath the bowl to double the amount of positive energy of whatever it is trying to reflect. So if you want more abundance and you have these 9 oranges or tangerines or something like that, you could place a mirror underneath that to amplify. Believe it or not, your laundry and your closets have a role in Feng Shui. Your laundry area is also related to prosperity and money, so you're going to want to be organized there. And then when you think about storage and closets and stuff like that, whatever is left in storage for a long time, that energy stagnates and just becomes stale and stuck. So if you're not using it, if you're not enjoying it, and it's in storage, whatever storage looks like for you, maybe consider just getting rid of it. When you have clutter around you in your life, it is representative of how much clutter you have in your mind. Pay attention to the area of your life that corresponds to this particular area of your house. So if you have a storage area, an attic, a part of your basement that is for storage, anything like that, pay attention to that because any boxes that are just sitting there, the boxes never get touched, they're stuck, they will not be supportive of you and what it is you're trying to create. So basically anything that's just sitting there never gets touched, never gets loved, never gets appreciated. It's never going to support you. So that's a way to think about it. Okay, let's talk bathrooms. I have a lot of notes for bathrooms since I already told you both of my bathrooms in this new place are in my prosperity and abundance center, so I had to figure that out. Okay, water is about prosperity and abundance, but the bathroom is the place where you release, you cleanse, and you let go. So the bathroom is the place where the money is, metaphorically speaking, flowing out, not flowing in. Now you see my dilemma. So to prevent a loss of abundance, the water element of bathrooms needs to be grounded or earthed. So here's what we mean. No color blue in the bathrooms. No blue in the bathrooms, which seems crazy because blue represents more water. You also don't want to have any images of water in the bathroom or anything that relates to oceans, rivers, lakes, any of that. There is enough water in the bathroom. It's all flowing out. You don't need to add more water to the bathroom. What stops water from being in its fullest flow? Start to think about earth grounding and slowing the water down. So yes, money moves in and money goes out. Money comes in, money goes out. Abundance comes in, abundance goes out. Like the flow is not something to be scared of. But if you can slow it, why wouldn't you? So my best friend, she lived in South Carolina, and this is where she got this tip when she was living in South Carolina. She was only there for 2 or 3 years. But she just thought it looked cool. So she would put these really beautiful rocks in her sink where, you know, you'd wash your hands, but there were rocks there. And when I read this, I was like, oh my God, that's Feng Shui. That is slowing the water down from leaving. So it looked really cool. And from a decorative perspective, it was really nice and different. And then I read about this and I'm like, wow, I clearly now have to have rocks in my sink, right? So if your bathroom is situated in that central spot, you know how there's the 9 blocks, that one that's right in the middle, they call it the central Gaia. Gaia, I think is how you pronounce it. That's where you're going to want to introduce earth tones in linens and select all kinds of earth and nature related objects for your bathroom. So my bathrooms, I don't have anything for them right now, but I can already tell you because the tile work that the person chose before me. See, and I'm wearing brown today, but I'm like, it's all browns. I really like grays. So it's more browns and golds than it is grays and silvers. So I'm doing a lot of like mixed metal sort of stuff, but it's all going to be earth tones. White or cream towels, really thick bath mats, things like that. Keep your plumbing in excellent order. No drips. That's a leaking of money. Just consider it like money going down the drain because it is literally and figuratively. Keep your toilet lid down so that your money won't be flushed away. You can cover your drains with rocks like I told you. Shut your bathroom door and keep it closed at all times because this is where abundance flows out. In my abundance center, you can tell I'm a little neurotic about this. So keep the bathroom door shut and closed. Then, here's something interesting. It can be effective to tie a piece of red string around the overflow of the taps underneath your sink or pipes where the water flows out. So underneath your sink, you open up the cabinet door and there's those pipes. You can tie a red ribbon. You know I'll be doing this and I'll be glad to report back on if it means anything at all. Red represents fire, which counteracts the water flowing out. So I don't know what kind of red stuff I might be putting down under there. But to maintain prosperity, earth colors keep your bathroom really clean. Add plants, upward growing plants or ferns, because ferns love the humidity and grow really well in there. If your bathroom is upstairs and not facing a staircase, place a mirror on the bathroom door to push the chi away. So I might be putting a mirror on my bathroom door. You don't know. It's not facing a stairway. And it's upstairs, just not up from us because ours is just a 1 level, but it's condo. So I don't know about that, but I do know luxurious, abundant, keep the door closed, keep the lid closed, earth colors, no blues, and anything that I can do to keep the water flowing out a bit more slowly. I'm on that. Okay, the last few things. We're going to talk about art for your home, money and Feng Shui, keeping abundance in, symbols of money, affirmations, and then a wrap up. All right, so I'm going to do this as quickly as I can because I know I'm keeping you all here for more than a minute. Okay, art for your home. Art is very powerful in Feng Shui. The art you have around you impacts what you have in your life. So you might end up paying a little bit more attention to the art that you choose for your house and your walls. The images you need in your house should mirror the energy of what you're trying to attract in your life. If you love a piece and it sparks joy or happy memories that are attached to it, keep it. You may also pay more close attention to the name of the picture or the painting because the name carries energy as well. You're not going to necessarily want to have artwork or images of people sleeping unless maybe that piece of art is going in the bedroom. You are not going to want to have singular items or people like one flower, one boat, one person, unless, of course, you just want to be left the hell alone. Think in pairs throughout your whole home if you want to be in a relationship or have a healthy, loving relationship. You're not going to want to have solitary women. Boats tied up, anything, I don't know what else would be tied up, but like a boat tied up signifies you're not going anywhere, staying right here. So you don't want that. You don't want stormy scenes for obvious reasons. And you don't want to put family photos over the fireplace. That fire can create tension in the family. So family photos go in the family part of the house and definitely not the master bedroom. So think of art as representative of where you are and what's going on in your life. So hopefully that'll give you some direction. Now let's talk about money and Feng Shui, the things you need to. A lot of people go to Feng Shui for the purpose of money, but many of them also go to it for health and for love. Those are the big three: money, health, love. So to attract more money into your life by using Feng Shui, you're going to want to keep your windows and your front door clean. They're going to keep getting dirty. Keep cleaning them. While you clean, express gratitude, acknowledgement, and appreciation. The more gratitude you express for your home, the more it will give back to you. If you're going to have plants in your house, think about prosperous plants. Fresh flowers and plants represent growth. Ferns and bamboo are money plants. Lucky bamboo is upward growing and has little twirls and spirals, which indicates the flow of life, and it's all upward facing. Money plants are succulents that hold on to the water. There are a lot of succulent plants out there right now that you can find that are super on trend. So I find them all the time. I went to Whole Foods the other day and I was like, oh, I really want to buy this, but it needs lots of light. And the place we're in right now where we're renting before we move to the new place doesn't have a lot of light. So I was like, well, I'm not going to kill them yet. I'll come back in a month and hopefully they'll still be here. But soft ferns also grow upward. Just avoid any spiky varieties. Don't do any cactuses and things like that. That just repels money. If you want money flowing in, keep all items around the house working. Broken energy comes from broken stuff. And by broken, I mean broken, not working, squeaking, chipped or cracked, or just something that is in need of repair. So drawer handles, believe it or not, it's all about how you handle yourself and anything that comes your way. So repair all door knobs and handles and make sure that they're solid and really work for you. Make sure the stove, which represents prosperity, is in good condition. It's a reflection of what's going on in your life monetarily. Keep all your plumbing in excellent working order. Now, everything in your home is replaceable. I had to learn this recently when the woman in Ohio came and bought literally everything in my home. Some things that I just love. She bought everything. Everything is replaceable. Like breathing in and out. And at any moment, you are able to inhale and bring in new energy. Then exhale and let it all go. All the time, every moment, new is always coming to us. Just because I loved some of those pieces in my last house doesn't mean I have to hang on to them. Maybe it's like I got to enjoy them for that period of time and now someone else is enjoying them and I get to create something new. That's how I've chosen to think about it. The symbols of money. So balance your accounts regularly. Pay your bills on time. Check your bank accounts as a matter of habit. So I learned this not through Feng Shui, but just early on in my coaching practice, which was anytime you notice where money stops flowing into you or your clients start to slow pay or they're not paying on time or you have to remind them or cards get declined, stuff like that. Whenever that happens, the first thing I now do is I go looking for, wait a minute, where am I slow paying? Where am I not showing up? Where am I not doing what I need to do? Because why is this being presented to me at this moment right now? So if you want money flowing in, you've got to keep it flowing out appropriately as well. Now, I haven't done this one yet, but I'm still looking forward to it. I'm just trying to find the perfect wallet. So energize your wallet. Make sure your wallet feels luxurious to attract money. Now, apparently we all have a personal Feng Shui color. I don't know what mine is. I don't know how to find this out. I'm sure Google knows, and I could do that, and at some point I will. If you don't know what your personal Feng Shui color is, you can get a wallet that is in the color of red because red attracts money and keeps it from flowing out. Although they do say your personal color will be far more potent. Just in this book I was reading, they didn't tell you how to get to your personal color. So your wallet needs to be clean, neat, and organized. I have expressed this to my husband, whose wallet is like this thick. You should love your wallet and feel as though you have a happy and safe place for your money. Get rid of any cards representing accounts that you've closed. Only keep in your wallet what you use, what you need, what makes sense, and what feels good. But it needs to be clean and organized, and you need to love it. Who knew your wallet was such an important piece? So remember that you can put affirmations that represent any of the things that I've shared with you in this video in different parts of your home. And then the other thing related to money is, and I thought about this a lot lately, because a lot of times, sometimes there's an imbalance. So think of like, we breathe in and we breathe out. The ocean tide comes in and the ocean tide goes out. Like everything has flow and movement to it that is a part of nature that works. That flow and movement works. When we gather money and we hang on to it, there's no flow. Or when all the money is flowing out and I'm not bringing any in, there's no flow. It's all going one direction. So that's out of balance. And I have been out of balance before, right? Of where there's money coming in and I'm thinking scarcity and I can't spend it, or money's going out and I'm like, oh, shoot, that doesn't feel great. So there's a health in keeping prosperity and the energy of money flowing in and flowing out and flowing in and flowing out. And as long as you're doing it in your realm of what feels good for you, you can't get into mental energetic trouble in the midst of that. So this was all because I started following a woman named Patricia Lohan, who I've met her personally. She's a doll. She's lived in Bali. She's from Ireland. She's precious. And she loves Feng Shui and teaches it to people. There are different types of Feng Shui. And like I said, I've just been following her, and I have not joined her program. She's like a whole mastery program. So if that interests you, just follow her, Patricia Lohan. And she wrote a book called The Happy Home, and it was all about Feng Shui, the basics of Feng Shui, which is what I've shared with you here, and bringing that into your life and in your home. But she has some pretty incredible stories about how people implement these these little tiny changes in their life, and like things start happening. Things that were stuck start flowing. Things that they've wanted for a long time start occurring in their lives. Big shifts start happening, or even, a movie director wins an Oscar right after they implemented some principles from Feng Shui. So don't feel like if you can't do it all, you're not going to do anything. Just do what you can. Do what feels good. All right? I loved sharing this with you, and apologize. It took me a little minute to get it to you. But there's tons of much, much, much more educated resources out there about Feng Shui. If it interests you, then just listening to me. But this will give you a feel for it and help you create a physical environment that mimics your internal environment and what you're trying to create for yourself moving forward.